Welcome to Backyards and Bevvies. Grab your favorite bevy, pull up a chair, and enjoy the ride. Hey, B&B fam. This podcast is sponsored to you by BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. Is there something getting in the way of your happiness? I know when I traveled the world, I had many days where BetterHelp's worldwide service of licensed professional therapists could have helped me speak to someone no matter where I was in the world about whatever was happening with my life, and with zero judgment. With their ability to match me with a therapist that best fits me, I know my mental health would have been way better back then. Believe me, I needed it. But I'm here to share a way for you to take back control of your mental health by telling you about BetterHelp's awesome services they have for you to talk with a pro about your life through their app or just online. Whether it is a video session or some simple messaging, their team is here to help. I went to check out the app for myself just to see how easy it was to use, and after a series of questions, I was told I would be able to start matching with a therapist in under 48 hours. And what is super rad is that it's affordable and they even offer financial aid too. So come join the 2 million users that have already been helped and gain back control of your mental health by visiting betterhelp.com/backyards for 10% off your first month. Remember, BetterHelp is therapy done securely online. Don't forget to use the special code BACKYARDS and let BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, help you to start living a happier life today. Welcome to Backyards and Bevvies.
Hi, everybody.
Home of PK
and BK. That's us.
It's nighttime. Well, it's like evening. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Kiddos are sound asleep.
This is not summer in Tennessee.
I will take it.
I am blown away. This has been a very mild, rainy, for like last year, 2 years, it's been very rainy.
No, last summer, it was so hot and dry.
Was it dry?
Yeah. But it has definitely been very wet this year, and it's been hot some days, but not like hot all the time like it usually is.
Oh, the cicadas just died down a little. They're coming back.
Oh, they're coming back.
So it is night or evening in at the ranch is tends to be loud, but not because of like cars and city noise and stuff like that. It just tends to be country loud.
All the bugs. There was a deer running through the backyard earlier while you were getting set up.
Which is crazy because we're really only about 25 minutes from downtown, like on a good day.
Yep.
You know what's really crazy, though, is that this could be one of our last shows here, though.
It could be. Yeah, right? I know.
I
mean, it's probably going to take us a bit, but...
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of.
Yes.
I'm not saying the last one.
Yes.
But, you know, it's kind of weird when you are engaging in something that's going to be different very soon, right? You're, like, actively doing something that's going to change your life, right? And we tend to do this all the time. I was actually thinking about this before we came out here, and we really didn't have a topic, and we were kind of like, well, we have something going on tomorrow. We're gonna go freaking house hunting, right?
Yes.
And so we were like, well, let's do this show tonight. You know, we'll do a quick one, and I started to think about it, I was like, wow, we really tend to do things very quickly. But they're always right, though. It's like the last car we bought.
Well, we commit, I think, is what we do. We like talk, and we talk some more, and we talk some more, and as soon as we're like, all right, yeah, let's do it, then we immediately
But we research, too,
put
inside
steps
of it.
in action.
Yeah,
we do all the research and all the stuff, but when we decide, okay, yeah, we're going to do this, whatever it is, we're like, all right, we're going to do this, and we're going to get it done, and then we're going to move on to the next thing that we have to do.
And it's kind of cool in a way. I find it very... I used to use the term. I was kind of saying in the kitchen, like, I kind of want to say some of my favorite quotes, because I do think that this is how I've always lived. I just have always also been nervous to take the leap if I didn't have to, right? So, like, being a roadie, I didn't have to really take a lot of leaps. I just got gigs given to me, and then I went on the road, and my life was the same. But very soon into the pandemic, all of a sudden, I had to take some big leaps in what I was going to do the rest of my life.
Yep.
And it was kind of it was the first time like stuff like that started to dawn on me. And I read that book, Think and Grow Rich, right? Yep. But my whole life leading up to Think and Grow Rich, before I watched the Defiant Ones and Think and Grow Rich and all of these things that I have written on my mirror. Mm-hmm. One quote I used to live by all the time was hesitation kills.
Oh, that's a good one. I haven't heard you say that one before.
Every time I'm at a stoplight and I'm like, there's a gap, shoot it. Mm-hmm. It's that one quote comes to my mind every time, because it's like, well, I can make this if I don't hesitate and pause in the middle of the road, because clearly the car's coming at me.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like the left-hand turn.
Yeah.
You're on green, you don't have an arrow, cars are coming at you. That's life. That's kind of the definition of like, I can sit here for the rest of my life and die in this spot.
Mm-hmm. And do nothing and take no risk.
I can just take this little gap and get on with my life, and especially if you're kind of in a hurry, right?
Yeah.
Some people take too big of those risks, but it came from riding dirt bikes with these greats all the time and watching them do jumps that were, you didn't want to hesitate on them. You wanted to go whether you wrecked or not, but you were watching them all make it, so you knew it's possible, right?
Right.
So same thing. Like, here we are. On the cusp of getting our book deal, the book released this year, all these things. It's like, if I wouldn't have taken that leap, if I hesitated on the book back in 2020,
where would you be now?
Well, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
Or we would, but it would have been rushed, maybe too rushed or too not defined.
It wouldn't be the product that it is.
It happened there is no coincidences, right? Like I always say, fine, God, crystals, whatever, however you want to define it, I say God gave me this gift of the book. Mm-hmm. But the gift was that kind of, you asked, here you go now, or forever hold your peace.
Yep.
kind of deal, right? And so that's that hesitation kills. And I kind of think that's what you and me are great about, is that we don't have to say that to each other. We can just say, well, hey, what about this? And then our creative minds work overtime. Mm-hmm. We're like OCD creative in a way. Mm-hmm. Like, my imagination goes one way, yours goes into game plan mode. Yeah. Mine's like building, yours is stats. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, but look over here and this, and we can do this and this, and oh my gosh, and this is right next to this, and if you take this, then you can get to this place, and you're like, yeah, but there's 7.2.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like,
I created I like a spreadsheet. What's that?
All the spreadsheets.
All the spreadsheets.
All the spreadsheets. Well, it's kind of like that quote that Eminem has in the Defiant Ones, where he's talking about Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine.
Yeah.
And he says that Dre is the creator and Jimmy is the levitator. So you're the creator, and my job is to do whatever I have to do to make your creation a success.
Wow. I never piece those together, and that's a really cool thought to have, because it's true, though. Mm-hmm. I think that it chokes me up in a way, because I really do think that you allow me to be uber creative. Like, I was listening
That's what you're good at. Not everybody is a quote-unquote artist, but working with artists, I have definitely learned, your job is not to get in their way.
Yeah.
Your job is to facilitate the best and healthiest environment for them to make their best creative product, and then my job is to take that product to the next level.
Go. You definitely have given me a baseline platform to where if I'm at least there, I'm happy. Mm-hmm. But then you've opened up the world to say, well, like, you can go anywhere. Mm-hmm. But just know that, like, if you get back down to here, like, just start over and we'll
keep going.
We'll try again.
Yeah.
And I really think it's crazy, because we're doing things on levels that are very, and I will use the Defiant Ones just because you and me have said so many times, it's such an inspirational movie. It's like,
oh my gosh, it's such a phenomenal series. We should watch it again.
Oh, I could
for
watch
the
it
8,000th time.
Well, the music too. You're just watching greats become great. You know, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is how they became great.
So cool.
But like reading Think and Grow Rich, you know, it's like you read a book and you have to put your own soundtrack to it and all that. So like the Defiant Ones is Think and Grow Rich, just with music and everyone you love.
Right. Yes.
The best soundtrack of my generation, I can say. And it's weird because as we're doing these things, you know, the publisher that we're talking to, you know, we were chatting about some stuff the other day, and one of the things she had mentioned to us, like, hey, we just need to chat about book length and this and that, and not to go too in depth. I remember telling you, I was like, hey, I'm thinking back to what Jimmy Iovine says. You know, he says, he says so many great things, but one of the great things he says is like, you know, if you're not frightened, you're not original. You know, and I feel like so many people, this is that hesitation kills moment, right? Like don't be frightful of this. Don't be scared. What we have is something great. We have to go. If we sit on this or we try to make it perfect, we are going to miss that. We're going to miss the mark. We're going to pause. And I think that he even talks about that. Like, it's on my mirror. Basically, it says like that's why, you know, like when horses race, they wear the blinders because it's a go moment.
Yeah.
It isn't a
don't pay attention to what everybody's doing around you. You got to focus.
And that's what you and me were chatting about the other day. It's like, okay, fine, we will take direction. Like obviously, creative direction is one thing, but the momentum we have right now is not meant to go backwards, and that's the point. And so, like, looking at us freaking potentially buying a home in the next month, we literally talked about this. You know, I'm just gonna say this a week ago, but probably we've been chatting about it.
But we got serious about it and called our buddy who's a realtor like.
But we've been chatting about it
a couple days ago.
But everybody chats about buying a home. Everyone's like, oh, I would love to live in that home. It'd be so cool to live here. Or we should tear this wall down and do that. But it really is that, like, we looked at each other and we both went, all right, call him tomorrow.
Yep.
And
we did. And then he came to the house. It was crazy. Now we're going to see a house.
Because we were a month, not even a month ago, or maybe like 2 weeks ago, being like, okay, well, you know, we got this going on and this going on. Oh, yeah, and then we got this going on. And then, yeah, don't forget we have this. I'm flying here. You have to fly here. Did you plan that?
Happening.
Oh, we got to go talk to our new CPA. And then it reminded me of another quote. And this is I probably have to look it up to get it 100% correct, but
is it another Jimmy quote?
No, this one I heard actually I heard Jordan Peterson say it first, but it's actually a Bible quote. Yeah, and it's I think there's probably different people who say it, but you know, one of them is from Luke, and I think Matthew says it, and it's basically like whoever has much, more will be given, and whoever has little, more will be taken. And I think that's you can be translated probably a million different ways, but I think what it really means is like if you're thinking small in your mind, it's
going to stay small.
It's going to stay small, but the little that you do have, people will use and take from you, right? But if you're like dreaming big, but you're doing big and you're doing this, of course more is going to be coming to you because people around you are seeing you create more and do more, and it's that gravitation, and that's what Jimmy Iovine and them talk about in the Defiant Ones, and that's what they talk about in Think and Grow Rich, and that's what a lot of these like self-coach gurus talk about. You know, it's like, well, of course you want to build your team,
right?
It's like a business or a pyramid scheme or any way that you think about it.
Right.
Well, yeah, the bigger you build your team, the more that you're going to get out of it.
The more you're going to bring in, 100%.
And it's just like any Hollywood star, like Tom Cruise. He's one of the biggest stars in the world. I guarantee you he gets scripts thrown at him like they're freaking rice at a wedding.
Probably so.
You know, like,
or at least at his agent.
Or yeah, at least it is.
Probably not right to Tom Cruise. He probably sees very, very few because his agent goes through them all.
But they are probably actively going through. I mean, look at Mark Wahlberg. How many things is that guy doing?
A lot.
Because everybody wants him to touch their product. And that's the key, I think, is that it doesn't mean you go and take everything on by yourself, you wait for it, right? You would just work hard and let it come to you. And that's what the Pareto effect is. All these things are what we've talked about, but it just kind of dawned on me like, holy cow, we really are. Like every time we turn around, something else is coming our way.
It's crazy.
Sometimes it's our own doing.
Yes.
But at the same time, we wouldn't be able to do this move if we wouldn't have taken the steps in 2018 with the house.
Oh my gosh. Man, what a blessing that we bought
jumped
this
on that
house
too.
When we did.
I was on the road. I mean, like...
Yeah, I FaceTimed you from here while you were working so that you could see it. And you were like, if you like it, buy it. Okay. But no big deal, just a massive decision.
But
it's been wonderful.
But look at that. There's another one of those decisions. I remember buying your engagement ring.
Yeah.
It was in rehearsal. It was like January. And I remember I talked to the guy. It was a friend of a friend. Oh, you should talk to this guy. Mosley. Jeremy Mosley.
Best dude.
South Carolina. Mosley
and we live in Tennessee, so here's a little plug that we are not getting paid for.
Yeah, this is not a plug.
If you need any jewelry whatsoever, Mosley Diamond Showcase in South Carolina,
the bomb.
They will take the very best care of you, and they are fair in their pricing.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. We love them.
Amazing people. But yeah, I called him.
But back to what you were saying.
I literally wrote him an email, and he called me back, and he was like, I got you. Let's do this. And we designed it, I don't know, in a week. And it was one of those moments where I was like, well, I don't know what I'm really doing because I don't know if I really ever want to be married, but I know if I don't do this now, it's never going to happen. And it was hesitation kills moment. And I pulled the trigger. I remember reading him off my credit card numbers, and I saw that first payment go through, and I was like, well,
this is happening.
Whether I'm ready for it or not, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And boom, here we are, though. And sure, we went through like moments of sheer hell, but we walked
totally worth it. Look at us now.
The juice is worth the squeeze.
100%.
Another one of my favorite lines.
That's a good one.
I told you I was going to put all my favorite lines in.
All of a sudden, there's so many.
That movie is so good, too. That's another great one.
Tell the fans the movie.
The Girl Next Door. And it's about a guy who he's a teenager who ends up falling in love with this girl next door who's a porn star. I know, it sounds crazy, but she's like retired or something. I forget the exact line, but basically he tries to rescue her. She gets mad, but then he says some stuff, and it's a typical Hollywood movie. But at the end, at one point, the two male characters, he has a talk, and he's like, well, if you're going to do anything in life, you have to make sure the juice is worth the squeeze. And so for years, I used to always think about this too. Hesitation kills. Is what I'm about to do worth the squeeze? And you don't really know, right? Because like if you can like pick out two cuties in a bag, right? And you can eat one.
One might be ready to go, and the other one is like rock hard.
You eat the next one, and you're like, oh gosh.
Yep.
So you really don't know sometimes what you're getting yourself into, but at the end of the day, like if you let those cuties sit there, or you pick it up and take the chance, that juice might be worth the squeeze.
It might be.
So yeah, I mean it has been a wild ride, and so looking back on all these, here we are taking the chance to move somewhere, and we're not moving anywhere popular.
No.
Or we're not wanting to move anywhere popular. We're moving to this like quaint little town that is, it's not far, but it's
farther.
But it puts us in such a better position for a lot of other reasons that it's kind of cool to think that, and I looked at a few of my friends that do that, and they always just seem happier. It's not that you can, and I don't take this the wrong way, my other friends that live in very hustle bustle areas, but there is something to be said to just not going where the crowd is for a moment in time.
Well, I mean, I think for us, it's just where we're at in our life right now.
Well, that's what I mean.
It's best for our family, like as a family unit, to have more space. And
it has nothing to do with them because their life dictated them to go there. I'm just personally saying it is nice not to like force ourselves to go there because everybody else is going there.
Right.
That was my point, is that it's kind of nice. Like, oh, okay, well, let's look at the map. And that's where I ended up looking at some of the restaurants. I was like, well, they have more than a Subway.
They do.
And I was like, oh, wow, they kind of got this like trendy. And then they had your favorite beer on tap at one of the bars. I said, well,
so sweet.
I know where we're going. I said, I know where we'll be.
That was very kind of you.
Once or twice a month.
You were so cute. You were so excited about it this morning when you came back from working out. You were like, look, this local pub has your favorite beer on draft. And I was like, okay, sold. Let's move there.
But if you're going to do something like that, right, you have to find the joy in what you're about to do. And I think that for one, living with you and doing, oh, look, a baby deer is running through our yard.
Where?
Like literally running through our...
Honey, where's its mommy?
I don't know, but...
Let's adopt it.
Yeah, no.
Come here, baby. We're moving to a new place. Do you want to come with us?
I don't think there's deer where we're going. Deer.
I'm going to miss that.
Deer. Well, I am going to miss it, but I'm also not going to miss all the bugs. Because, where we're moving, they've clearly...
There's not a single tree in our yard. We're saying as if we've bought this place where we have not, but...
Look, they're playing back there.
Oh, there's the mama. You guys, this is so precious.
It did make me laugh, though. I was like, man, why do we have so many bugs? I'm like, oh, because we have a thriving ecosystem here. I was like, oh, where we're moving, it's kind of like, they had to devastate an ecosystem to build
the houses. I know. They did that here many years ago, but then,
it grew back
all these
over
trees,
time.
Yeah.
Well, you have to think, we live in a very, very secluded part of town where there's still so much farmland and so much, like... there's a river that like runs on both sides of us basically. So there is a thriving ecosystem here. I mean, where we're, and that does kind of sadden me that we're leaving this, but at the same time, like it'll be nice not to have to like wash the car 4 times a week to get the sap off of it.
Off, yes.
It will be nice to walk outside and not run into 17 spider webs in 4 feet.
Yeah, we'll see if that... I'm sure they're going to be around.
There's no bugs out there. They're all dead. They need stuff to eat.
We'll see about that.
There's plenty of stuff for them to eat here.
Yes.
They'll still be bugs, but there's clearly...
It's just a different environment. Definitely.
But that's the key, though, is we're pushing those envelopes all the time. Different envelope with the book, different envelope being parents, different envelope, all the things we're doing. I even go on a limb sometimes and say, like, well, I'm doing religion differently and not like I'm rewriting being a Catholic, but I definitely looked at how a lot of my family members treat the Catholicism, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's not how that happens, but sure, you can keep saying that's the way it goes. And so even then, inside of there, I feel like you and me are being different and more proactive. I think I just swallowed a bug.
Ew.
Yeah, but it went up my nose.
Oh,
weird.
Gross. They're eating me.
Well, I said this one was going to be short and fun because I knew it was going to be very noisy with the cicadas. And
yes.
Oh, a hawk just flew by with something... I think I had a squirrel.
Yeah. Nature is wild.
This is a lively little episode here.
I guess.
I will give an update. As I was building the podcast today, our little bird friend, one of the eggs did hatch, I think on the last show. And they're gone. Mommy and
little baby are gone.
Little baby flew the coop.
I guess so.
There's still 2 eggs in there, though.
I know. They must not have made it.
They maybe didn't. We could eat them.
Ew, no.
Well, just a little extra protein, right?
Hard pass.
It's like an ostrich egg.
I would try that.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe not. It is huge. But Top Chef makes it seem like it's pretty good if you do it right.
I mean, I would try any egg.
Maybe it's like
quail eggs are good.
Scrambled egg or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat it raw.
Well, no, I meant like a giant fried egg. Imagine the yolk.
No, that's too much.
Yeah.
That's too much yolk.
Scrambled egg, omelet.
Scrambled egg, yeah. Even then, that's like 14 burritos.
We could serve like an entire family.
I'm sure it tastes just like an egg.
Probably does.
There's probably a little bit of gaminess to it.
Yeah. We've gone off on a random tangent.
Quail eggs are good. Well,
they are good.
Well, no, we were just chatting about how, when you leave something, you asked me the other night, like, I can't remember the exact verbiage, but you basically were like, will you miss this? And it's like, of course I'll miss this. Like, this was our home. Or, I mean, this will always be our home. We got married in the backyard.
Yeah,
you know,
it's our very first house. Yeah, got married here. Had our 2 babies here. I mean,
we potentially will totally regret doing what we're doing. But at the same time,
no regrets.
Well, no, there's okay to have. I mean, you can look back and be like, dang, I probably shouldn't have done that. But doesn't mean that you don't keep moving forward, right? You don't like suddenly collapse and be like, we sold our land and now what? Oh, figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Just got to move forward.
Maybe one day we'll buy it again.
No, I'm not buying this one again. I mean, I loved it, but no.
We've outgrown the house.
Yeah,
we need more space.
I hope the people that take it, the one thing I wanted to do always if we were going to keep it was start fresh in a way, but keep some of the brick. Because the brick is just so, like...
It's a cool house.
Timeless.
It is.
It's an old farmhouse. What are you going to do? And they did a great job doing the things they did to make it livable for us. And and I hope it makes another small family happy. But it's hesitation kills. It's time to move on. So I thought it was fun to share some of my favorite quotes and share some of these, like, interesting thoughts that we our interesting hesitation kill moments. There was another quote here before it starts to rain.
I know, I just felt a couple drops. I was like,
I looked at the thing. I was like, I'm not going to use the umbrella tonight because everyone's frightened. It's how you deal with that fear. It's very, very powerful. And what you've got to do is get it as a tailwind instead of a headwind. Yeah. And that's a little bit of a judo trick in your mind. And once you learn that, fear starts to excite you because you know that you are going to enter into something and try it and risk. Jimmy Iovine.
Love it.
So,
Jimmy with all the quotes.
And this is one that I read. This is the very first one I read every morning. Life is a balance of fear and overcoming it. And I think that's so true. And you have to look at fear as something that really is, everybody has it, but it's I think the people that learn how to deal with it and truly take it and use it as fuel. Because so many people use it as a crutch.
Yeah.
I can't go do that because
I'm afraid.
Think about it. Think about how scary it is out there.
Yeah.
Well,
gotta just go for it.
You really do.
You'll never know if you never try.
You will never know if you never try. Well, this ended up probably being a little shorter than I wanted to, but I think that it was fun. It was short to the point, and I hope that when you go out and you do what you're fearful of, that you think of the things that we just said. Like, yeah, it's there, but take it on.
Let it push you in the right direction instead of holding you back.
Exactly. Let it be that catalyst that catapults you into...
who knows what?
A new zip code.
Yes.
For us, a new zip code.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, we have friends that recently went all the way from Texas all the way to Florida. I mean, that's scary.
Yeah. We're moving 20 minutes, so
yeah.
Not that bad.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
But we thank you all always for listening to us and taking chances on the words that we say, because words matter. And what we're trying to produce here is not only entertainment, but we're trying to always share like our take on our lives, which hopefully, if you're going through something, obviously we've said it before, feel free to reach out.
We're here to help.
Well, I say always. Listen. You can write us a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much for listening to us on this lovely Friday.
Yes.
Well, it's Wednesday morning for you.
Yes, but Friday evening for us.
I have to create a new intro. Not like I'm going to keep our intro, but I have to create an ad for the book.
Oh, yeah. We will have to do that.
So, and I thought about that today.
Keep your ears and eyes peeled, everybody.
I'll try to keep it short.
Yeah. I'll edit it for you.
Much love. Cheers. Bottoms up. Have a wonderful day. Night. Morning.
Bye.
Bye.